Hey everyone, see you all coming in. We will get started shortly. Give us a few moments for our guests to come. Be right back. Hello there.
Hi. Good evening. How are you? Doing good, thank you.
Good. You looking all African.
Yes. Got my little head back here, doing my Erica Badu type of thing.
I love it. I love it. You see the hearts that people are giving you? They're so happy to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. How is everybody? Dr. Keisha's in the building and Stephen. Hello. Hope everybody is doing well. I see the hearts now coming up.
Nice.
Oh, I miss you too, Charnette. I miss all of you. I do. So I'm glad to be back, make a little guest appearance here.
Yes, you are the star of the show today. We'll give everyone a few minutes to come in.
Of course.
I think because of what you're going to talk about tonight, I think we're going to go live if you don't mind. No, we didn't talk about that, but I think I'm going to live stream. So let me
either way
get situated. Because I think there are going to be a lot of people out there that need what you're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, Tisha.
Hey, Talisha.
Talisha, I decided just now to live stream. Even though this is not normally a live stream session, I decided to live stream since we're going to talk about business plans, and there's so many other people that need that.
Okay.
But since I was impromptu, I'm on the wrong computer for that. Can you do it from your computer, Tisha?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so. Let me.
If not, I'll jump out and get into get on a different computer. See everyone coming in. Hello, everyone. Good to see you this evening.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, say it again.
I'm not logged in as the 10K project. I'm logged in.
Okay, I'll log out in a minute and then log up again. And since you're on, it shouldn't affect anything. Excited to welcome back Cheree Warrick, the former CEO of the 10K project. So super excited to have Cheree back. She's going to talk to us about one of the things she does very, very well, as we all know, writing business plans. And she's going to talk to us about bankable business plans, right? She's also going to tell us about something wonderful she has agreed to do for us at the 10K project. And we are excited to be partnering with her. And so I'm going to jump off real quick, like 2 minutes.
Mhm.
I'm going to jump back on a different computer so we can live stream. So I appreciate everyone's patience and I do apologize. So let me leave and I'll be right back.
Okay, and while Tawana's doing that, if people can tell me if you own a business, what kind of business you own, I'd love that. That way I can maybe tailor some of my comments to tonight's session. If you own a business, tell me what kind of business you own. If you don't own a business and you want to own one, let me know that as well. Because one of the things we're going to talk about today is how to get a specific type of loan that is not, that is a lot more credit friendly, or just for small businesses. So a lot of people don't know about this government program, and I wanted to talk about that tonight. So Sharnetta has an online business for tutoring and consulting. I love that. Look, tutoring these days. I'll let Tawana do her thing, but I was listening to a session, a live stream, and this woman in Texas says she has 43 middle school children in her class this year. And this woman in Texas said there's a lot of issues with regards to teachers and ratios of students to teachers. And of course, we know affirmative action has been reversed. So a lot of us are going to need extra help in order to be competitive, you know. So I'm definitely a fan of anybody who's doing tutoring.
Yeah.
Artist, photographer. I'll let you go, Tawana.
Very good.
Oh,
All right.
tutoring,
We are live streaming. I heard you talk about Sharnetta's comment about tutoring for physical therapy students.
Okay.
And then Ms. Patrice says artist and photographer. Very, very good. I will start since I had to jump off and jump back in again. We are live streaming. Thank you guys for being so patient. I started to get on this computer first and I was like, no, I'll get on the other one. This is our private session. I'll get on the other one. But the more I thought about it, I want as many people, first of all, to tell Cheree how much we love her, how much we miss her, and to welcome her back. As you guys know, watching us here in Zoom, Cheree was the CEO of the 10K Project, one of its founders, actually the originator of the idea conceptually. And so we would not be here for there not, or if there was not Cheree Warrick. So Cheree, thank you very, very much. As a result of your vision, we have helped a lot of founders and we have helped a lot of investors build wealth and raise the capital that they need. So thank you so very much for that. And for agreeing to come back and hang out with us, right? Because that's always cool. So we're
yes, I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad that, you know, this entire concept and group has continued on. And thank you for your continued leadership, and Talisha for coming on board and helping. So, and I'm excited for tonight's conversation as well.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. Business plans, what you do. You have managed to, in addition to the good job you've already done with business plan, you've managed to incorporate some new technology into it. So I'm super, super excited about that because I am a Chat GPT fanatic, right? Everything I think about, it's like, ooh, can Chat help me with that? Like we're on a first name basis now, right?
So are you in it every day and using it all the time?
I am in it multiple times a week. I wish I could get in it every day. I was just telling Dr. Keisha a little while ago that I haven't been in a couple of weeks because, you know, life is happening. But there was, I mean, I was in it consistently throughout the weeks prior to my mom getting sick because every time I have an idea, I'm like, oh, Chat can help me with. I mean, literally, I'm just like, you know, me and Chat go way back. We go.
So can I tell you something about that? So
Absolutely.
First of all, less than I think 10% of people actually use ChatGPT like on a monthly basis. And there was something that came out recently that says something like 70% or 80% of jobs these days or are asking for people who have ChatGPT experience. So, even though there's been some, Talisha probably knows about this as well, some issues with GPT-4, and, it's been called lazier and dumber and things like that. The technology is going to get better. A lot of white collar jobs are going to be changed or done away with because of it. And I always say for my blue collar people that robotics is what you have to look out for. So it's great to kind of just use ChatGPT, even if it's for something like writing your business plan.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So let's just jump in and get started. First of all, because there could be some people in the community that don't know who you are and your background. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into writing business plans and what your experience is in there. And then just let's jump into some things people need to know as they're thinking about business plans and becoming bankable.
Okay, well, the second slide of my presentation, let me just show this to you because you asked me how did I get into writing business plans. So I'm going to come here to this. Now, Tawana and Talisha knows who this person is, but for everybody in the chat, you're asking me, how did I get into business plan writing? Can you tell me who you think this person is on the screen? The true story how I got into business plan writing. Yes, Sharnetta, that is my mom. That is my mom. Her name is Carolyn, and she has a business called Carolyn Does QuickBooks. She does bookkeeping. And we were a few years into the business, her business, and she one day said, I think we're going to the bank to get a business loan. You write the business plan. You have the master's degree, you write the business plan. And that was the conversation that we had. So I was scared. I'm like, I've written a business plan for class, but never to have somebody go to the bank and give it to a banker and say, would you fund this loan? But I did what everybody else does. You go get the template, you struggle through that, you're trying to, I really was struggling with what is the banker looking for in this business plan to get them to say yes. Because there were no articles like that at the time. This was like 2007. No. This had to have been 2010 timeframe. But I put together what I could, showed it to a mentor of mine who had about 30 years of experience raising capital. And he said, make these tweaks and give it to the bank. And the bank said it was one of the best business plans they'd ever read. So I thought, well, I'm done, right? But I have a typical mom, like you all probably do, who starts bragging to everybody. Look at what my daughter did, blah, blah, blah. And people started coming to me, asking me, well, will you write my business plan for me? And that was the genesis of 10, 12 years of work writing business plans. Not really writing business plans anymore, just because it is very exhausting. But this next chapter is helping people use ChatGPT to write business plans. Now, I will say this. If you just type in the ChatGPT, write a business plan for whatever industry, it sucks. You'll never get funded with that. However, if you know what you're doing and we put some good prompts together for you, then it'll spit out the sections of the business plan and you pull that together with your financials in order to write the business plan. And I was saying to everybody before that I also have a couple of places where you can go for funding, because sometimes if you're trying to get a bank to give you money and you're a startup, they won't do it. Or if you don't have great credit, a bank will not fund your loan. So I have a couple of places, and I actually want to start with that, Tawana, a couple of places for people to like pursue if you're looking for funding for a startup or to grow your company.
Wonderful.
So,
Very good. I think we're ready. I mean, I'm smiling because, this is Cheree talking about business plans is how the 10K project kind of happened, right? She was so frustrated one day when we used to have a business together. Three of us used to have a business together, Black Blockchain Consultants, and we were a blockchain education company. And Cheree came on so frustrated one evening because of this double standard when banks review business plans, right? And how Black founders don't often have the same sensitivities around reviewing the business plans. And so that's how 10K started. Cheree would always say, if just as simple as 10,000 of us getting together and putting in $100 and we could fund Black founders, and we could do that over and over and over again. And that's how we got here. So to kind of come full circle and have Cheree teach us how to write a business plan that's going to help get us funded from both a bankable standpoint, but then also remember, we just did the Grant Masterclass series a while back. And so the same thing applies, right? For those who went through the Grant Masterclass and you're still stuck because you haven't yet found someone to write you a great business plan, you are the someone you've been waiting for, and Cheree's going to teach you how to do it.
That's right. So the other thing was, not only was I frustrated because of banks, I was also frustrated because we talk so much about VCs. You know, we get less than 1%. And I'm like, then stop asking. Let's, let's try to figure out a different way of doing this. So so what I wanted to do was, and Brother Delano, you ready? You taking notes? I see that. I see you. Well, here's the first note that I want to share with you here. So this SBA program is called the microloan program. A lot of people don't know about this program, but you are able to go to a small business development center. They're all over the country. Small business development centers are in every city and in most rural areas all over the country. And you have to have a business plan for this funding, but you're able to get a microloan up to $50,000. Most of the microloans for startups are $5,000 to $10,000. And then if you have a business that's already up and running and revenue generating, you can get $50,000. I have one client that got $60,000. He had terrible credit. I know another guy who had a startup. He had terrible credit. He got $10,000. So I'm a fan of this program just because it's not like the bank where you have to go and have, 2 years proven you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars each year in your business. You don't have to have collateral and things like that the banks are looking for. So this microloan program is really great. It is through the SBA. And what you do is you're able to come down here and list of microlenders. You're able to get to the list of microlenders here. You're able to put in your city or a state. I'm just going to go to Virginia here and filter it out. And these are the places where you're able to go in order to get these microloans. So, if you're like, Cheree, I don't believe you, great. I believe in healthy skepticism. Definitely come to this page, reach out to some of these people like Community Business Partnership. They're really huge in the Virginia area, even though this is saying Springfield, Pennsylvania. This should say Springfield, Virginia, because Loisdale is in Springfield, Virginia. So they messed that up. This group here, I've worked with them as well. I will say this as well. The person that I know, she was a Black woman from Africa, and she went to the Latino Economic Development Corporation and got 60 grand. So don't think, oh, this is for Latino people only. She took, she went in as a Black African and got $60,000 from the Latinos. So what happens is the SBA funds this microloan program. And why would the SBA want to do that? it's simple, because the more small businesses that they have, the more likely you are to hire somebody. Small businesses are, the economic engine of the country. So they want to provide funding for as many companies as possible. So the second place that you're able to go is something called the Community Development Financial Institution, CDFI. CDFIs are basically groups of banks that get together and they put money into a pot, and they provide that money for all of my people who want to do real estate projects. This is a great place to go, or the CDFIs. And you want to go to, again, the ones in your area. So if you want to do an affordable housing development, a CDFI is a great place for you to go. Or if you have a regular business, one of the first business plans I did was for a catering company that was around for 23 years. She got, I think, 150 grand from a CDFI. So they are, again, a little bit more lenient when it comes to your credit score and your collateral. But it's groups of banks that get together and fund businesses in underdeveloped communities. But no matter where you live, definitely to contact the CDFIs near you and see if they would be willing to fund you. So if you come to their website here, it says here, are you an individual or a business seeking a loan? Click here to learn how to find CDFIs. So we're going to click here, and it has the list of certified CDFIs. Find a CDFI in your community. So you can just click on the state and hit submit and find those CDFIs that are able to potentially get you funding. So questions about that?
See any questions yet, but John does say that he's got a friend who started a microloan conference, and he put the conference link in, actually having the next conference in 2024 in Detroit. So John, I think my question is that for businesses seeking the microloans, or is that conference focused around institutions providing the microloans?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but I think that's great. People seeking, oh,
Seeking.
fantastic.
Nice, wow.
So yeah, so I'll even promote it, John, because I like to promote things like that for people who are seeking. But yeah, you're right. The microloan program is extremely under promoted. When we say there's a lot of hidden money in the United States, and other communities know, how to get this money and we don't, this is part of it. So I really, again, like that program. I will say, just remember that this is debt as well. So when you take the money, have a clear vision of, I'm going to take this money and put it into marketing, and not just marketing, but I'm going to put it into Facebook marketing with these terms and, et cetera, et cetera. And that's where your business plan comes in, because it gives you a clear vision of, what am I going to do with this money so that I can tenfold it? If you get 10,000, we should be getting 100,000 coming in order to service that debt, and make sure that the business is worthwhile for us. And John is saying there's also a pitch competition as well. Fantastic. But
Nice.
I think pitch competitions are great. It definitely sharpens you with regards to explaining what you're doing. Patrice is asking, do each of the funders have the same terms regardless of location? Yeah, everybody that I've heard of. It's for the microloan program, that is an SBA program. So yes, the CDFIs may be a little different. I don't know enough of, the ones that I've dealt with have had the same requirements with regards to the business plan, but I don't know like the other parts of it. So definitely check within your community. And don't be afraid to go to multiple CDFIs as well. I will say that. Okay, so let's then, Talisha, did you have anything?
No, ma'am. I'm good.
Okay, let's then go to, you've decided to write a business plan, whether it is for the microloan or the CDFI loan, or just for yourself, because you need to bank on yourself as well. right? You're creating a bankable business plan. What are the things that you need to have? So the first thing is outside of the business plan, you need to figure out what type of business you're starting. And when we do our pitches, or we attend our pitches on Tuesdays, we're asking, one of the big things we're asking is this a scalable business, right? Am I going to invest in a scalable business? Well, you as an individual needs to decide if you are starting or growing a lifestyle business or a scalable business. So everybody in the chat, what is a lifestyle business and what is a scalable business? I like a little audience participation here.
Mhm.
What's the difference between a lifestyle business and a scalable business? We're going to wait just a second for people to put something in the chat here. And while you all are typing that in, I learned this from my lawyer. Also, I will say that neither one is wrong. Neither one is wrong. A lot of people make it sound like if you don't have a scalable business, if you're not trying to grow $100 million business, you're a loser. That is not the case. The lawyer, my lawyer who taught me this, he felt it was important for him to be at home with his young children for dinner every night. He wanted to participate in this, soccer, and the daughter did ballet and things like that. So he said, I set up my business to be a lifestyle business. And again, he was an attorney. So you all have your comments in here. You're saying here, lifestyle business depends on the entrepreneur. Absolutely. Either one depends on the entrepreneur. There are different skills that you need to have if you're doing a lifestyle business versus a scalable business. Dr. Keisha saying hobby versus revenue producing hobby. Not quite, because a lifestyle business can still be revenue generating and profitable. Again, my attorney has the lifestyle business. Sharnetta is saying lifestyle businesses support what you're doing right now. Scalable business has potential for multiple revenue streams. A lifestyle business can give you multiple revenue streams. Lifestyle business can give you multiple revenue streams. Well, those are good guesses. Scalable can grow without you. Yes. Lifestyle, you are the business that depends on you. Yes. Very good. Lifestyle, you have to be there. Scalable can run without you. Yep. Yep. So you are with the microloans, like if you're borrowing $10,000, you're able to get it for a lifestyle business or a scalable business. Usually I give this presentation for people who are trying to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. And at that point, I say, look, if you're raising $500,000, you got to be growing a scalable business. Somebody's going to give you money for a lifestyle business. But if you want $5,000, $10,000 from the SBA through the Small Business Development Centers, you can have a lifestyle business. And you can take that $10,000 and turn it to a $100,000 business and be a stay-at-home mom, or, whatever it is that you want to do. So any questions about this, Tawana, Talisha? Because this is one of my favorite slides. I'm passionate about this.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think I've ever asked myself this question this way. So I was sitting here thinking, what was my answer for 10K project? And I think it is a lifestyle business. It's a lifestyle business. I'm not interested in, this being a business that VCs want a part of one day. I think what we do here is wonderful. However, this still is it still is a scalable business. So because there's more we can do, right? So is there a level of scalability that this slide is referring to?
Yes. So basically, if you're looking at having, let's say, when I first started talking about the 10K projects, and I'll just bring it back to that, when we were talking about having 1 million investors, that's scalable. Why? Because we would need a full staff in order to manage all of that.
Right.
But a lifestyle business really is like, hey, we want to do great for the community. We want to raise significant money. but we're not trying to kill ourselves. We're
Right.
not trying to have 20 people on payroll full time, things like that.
Yeah.
I think there's also a really like a distinction also with regard to the objective of the business as well as the viability aspect. Because again, if you're trying to be consistent, you truly have a lifestyle business. If you're just trying to hit, a ROI of $10,000 a month or $100 million, whatever it is. If you go to a scalable business, you are no longer the person who decides that. Now you're getting into your shareholders are telling you, I need a 10x year over year over year. So
Yeah.
scalability also has accountability of growth. You have to understand that a lifestyle business can be at the same for the extension of the life of the business.
Yeah. So it's great that you mentioned that, Talisha, because when we write the business plan, the way that you write a business plan for a lifestyle business is different from the way that you write for a scalable business. Because if you have a scalable business, there are very, very, very few companies that get to $30-40 million of revenue with 2 people. Like
Right.
most of them require significant, this is why you see those big companies raising multiple rounds of funding and things like that. Well, the mindset that you have to have when you're starting a scalable business is different from the mindset and the activities that you're doing when you're starting and growing a lifestyle business. So that's why I like to say neither one of them is wrong. It's just which one do you want to do? So.
Yeah. And I think the last comment I'd make there is that, sometimes that lifestyle business can turn into a scalable business without you even realizing it, right? I think about a guest we had not too long ago when she started making products, just thinking she was going to sell them on her own. And then it got so much traction and people started saying, I want to sell this too. And so now she does wholesaling and and white labeling. So that business has now turned in this small thing that she thought was going to just be hers. Her side hustle has turned into this massive scalable business for her.
Yeah.
So in that situation, Cheree, you may start out with the life style business plan, but now you've got to think about things on a bigger scale and revise that. So for many of us, we've started out with businesses that we thought were going to do one thing or be one thing, and they have morphed or evolved into something else. It's time for a new business plan if you're looking to get some funding.
Absolutely. So the rest of these things I'm going to kind of go through pretty quickly. The 6 parts of a bankable business plan. And again, if you are not looking for funding, you still may want to write a business plan because you are the bank. You will be putting in time and money. Even if you're not raising funds, you'll be putting in your own money. So you want to make sure that what you are doing is going to give you a healthy return on investment as well. So the 6 parts to a bankable business plan, you want your executive summary, your market opportunity, your marketing plan, your team, your competitive analysis, and your financial forecast. If you have been attending the Bet on Black pitches, you probably have seen this over and over again where people are talking about these aspects of their businesses when they're pitching the community. But it's the same thing that you want for your own business, whether it is a lifestyle business or a scalable business. So let's talk a little bit about the market opportunity. The market opportunity is going to tell the reader about your business. It's going to tell people, hey, this is a problem that I'm solving. It may tell people how you came up with the problem that you're solving. Like I told you, my mom needed a business plan. I wrote it for her, but I struggled, finding certain information. But lo and behold, on the other end, right? She got a business plan and was offered the funding. You also want to talk about how big the problem is. How many people are having this problem? You have heard the fancy term total addressable market. That's all that is how many people have that problem, and then how much of the market you want to capture is the market opportunity. So again, these are some of the questions you're asking yourself. What problem are you solving? What are people currently doing that have the problem? Why is it a thorn in their side? Why is that not working? How big is the market? Where is the market? It could be geographically, but it also could be they're in Facebook groups that have XYZ, I just keep thinking, you know, because I know you said you're tutoring for physical therapists, for example. Great. Where are they? They may be in a geographic location, but they may also be in a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or someplace like that. Where do they hang out, and how many people are you going to be serving every day, every week, every month, or every year? So 10K project is a great example of that. There's a certain number of Bet on Black pitches that we want to do every year. There's a certain amount of members that we want to have, joining us through this wealth building journey, etc. So that's the market opportunity. The second part is, once you've decided how many people you want to ultimately serve, you need to have a marketing plan. And all a marketing plan is how you're going to get customers and how you're going to keep them. How you're going to get customers and how you're going to keep them. There are tons of ways for you to get customers. It depends on your business. Do people get customers through social media marketing? Do you get customers through social media advertising, which is different from social media marketing? Advertising means I give Facebook my credit card and I run ads, right? Do you use TikTok? Do you use YouTube? Do you use Twitter? I don't think anyone's using Twitter these days, but at least maybe to browse, right? Or are you not on social media at all? Do you, like for my, currently I'm helping people get money for their real estate investments. The phone is what I use. Networking with realtors and other real estate professionals is what I do. That's one of the primary ways that I get business in. So, there are, again, a ton of different ways for you to get customers through the door, getting them to actually know who you are. And then once you get them, how are you going to keep them? Sometimes you'll do annual customer appreciation. Sometimes you'll do like these types of sessions here, or master classes where we teach you other wealth building things. So there's ways for you to get customers. There are ways for you to keep customers, but it's kind of brainstorming it. Oftentimes the marketing plan and payroll, like hiring people, are the two big things that you're looking for money for. So whomever's giving you money, they're going to pay attention to this part, this aspect of your business plan. Don't skimp on it. If you're talking about, hey, there's a lot of people within, let's say TikTok, for example. Great. Are you going to have hashtags? What hashtags are you going to use? How often are you going to post? Things like that. Don't just write 2 sentences saying, I'm going to do TikTok, right? You kind of have to have some details with it. And you can stop me, Tawana or Talisha, at any point.
I just love hearing how you distinguish and make it clear that it's also to keep the customers, that marketing is just not about the customer acquisition, but it is about the retention as well. That's oftentimes neglected.
Actually, there is a stat that says 73% of people, I think it's 73%, leave a company because they feel that the company is indifferent to them. It's not because they had a bad experience. It's just they never called to follow up. I'll give you a great example. Great example. My stylist, my hairdresser. I haven't been to see my hairdresser in the past couple of months. How many phone calls have I gotten from her? And I used to go like every other week, like clockwork. How many phone calls have I gotten from her?
Well, I'm guessing none, since you're telling the story.
But if I was going pretty steadily every other week, wouldn't you think that somebody would call and say, hey, you haven't been in, you want to get on the books?
Are you okay? I mean, let's start
there. Are you okay?
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Are you okay? Number one. And number two, do you want to get on the books? Right. So those of us ladies can imagine that how much money is leaking from her business because Like, hey, this person used to come, this person hasn't been in. But you know who definitely follows up with me to ask me when I'm coming in next? My dentist. And you know how much money that man makes? He's got to be pulling in 7 figures a year himself.
Right.
And he's not cheap, right? So so when you say keep customers, like the biggest thing you could do is, they call it plug the hole in the boat, right? So when people come in, they're not leaving, automatically. Felicia, you have anything, or anybody else
I
have
think that's a great
anything?
example. And also that, it's easier to upsell and maintain customers rather than to the acquisition costs. That
Mhm.
becomes the issue as well. And this goes back to the scalable or lifestyle. To support your lifestyle business and to keep it consistent, you need to maintain those individuals who are patronizing you. You may not need a whole bunch of them, but you do need the ones that you have to continue their service with you. And if you offer something special or something else, they're much more likely to buy it. In the scalable, you're looking for both. So that's another aspect. Are you really on the hunt for new customers all the time? Are you really
Mhm.
going to put in all that $1 million advertising into Facebook to get new customers, because your traction or your attrition rate may not be there to maintain and to attract. So those are those kind of things that you really want to think about when you're concerning your business plan, but also in how you're going to market.
Yeah, I mean, even just thinking, um, we have a virtual admin in our office from the Philippines. We actually have a few, but this one I'm specifically thinking of. Her job is to call and follow up with people, like after they've purchased a house and things like that. That could be part of your $10,000. And there are people out there, like, you don't necessarily have to do it, even though it's great if you did it in the early stages. But you may take a little bit of money and say, hey, I'm gonna have somebody a couple of times a week, just call my current customers, like, or even the VIP customers, and say, hey, how are things going? Tawana just wants to check on you. She asked me to give you a call, et cetera, et cetera. And imagine the amount of retention that you would have because somebody is doing that outreach on your behalf. So, okay, the next thing is your team. Your team. So, this is like your staffing plan. But it also tells the reader who is in management positions in your business. If it's just you, then that's great. If there are other people, that's fine as well. But also why they were selected. Were they just selected because they could fog a mirror? Or do they have specific skills that are going to help your business get from one point to the next? You're looking at how does your team help you reach the next milestone in your business? So one of my favorite analogies for all of my fellas out there especially is that, money follows cohesive teams. And this is just a football example. I don't know anything about football, so y'all gonna have to work with the girl here. But I used to always do in my presentation, I used to say, well, what are the 3 parts of a football team? And invariably, the men would say offense, defense, and special teams. And I'm like, I don't know what special teams is. So y'all gonna have to like just a little bit with me. And we're gonna go with offense, defense, and the coach. So Talisha, you're smiling. So I'm gonna bring you in on this part of the discussion here.
I'm a
On
football
the
fan, so.
Hopefully these are your simple questions. What does offense do on the football field?
They play offense. So what is that?
They
That's the
play
thing that they do.
offense.
They play offense. Yes, they're trying to gain the points for any football
Yes, they
aspect of
gain points.
it.
Exactly. What does defense do on a football field?
They are defending to make sure that the points are not occurred, or at least if they are, they're the minimal amount of points.
Look, you already know where I'm going with this. And then what does the coach do on the football field?
He manages.
He manages like not just the players and where they are, but he's thinking about the weather and how it's going to affect this player. And,
All
oh,
the
that
strategy
player
stuff.
has a
He's
strategy and
managing
this
the
player has an
entire,
injury and things like
everything.
that. And
Mhm.
John is answering, trying to score and preventing the other team from scoring. Yes, exactly. So in business, this is the analogy that I use. Scoring, offense scoring is revenues. Revenues, and, are we getting points on the board? Do we have prospects contacting us? Are we converting those prospects into sales? Are they staying long-term for, a year, 2 year, 5 years, however long of a period we expect that person to continue to come to our business, right? Defense, I say, protects, right? So what are they protecting in business? That's your insurance. That's your payroll, right? Your payroll company protects you because, the IRS could charge you an extra fine if you are paying people as a 1099 when they should be paid as a W-2, right? Lawyers, your legal team protects you. Some of us have businesses where we need more protection legally than others, right? Let's say you have a retail store. The person who mops the retail store and like makes sure that if water is spilled on the floor, that they come right away and clean it up, that's a defensive move. Why? So you don't get sued, right? And then the coach is you as a business owner. You are the CEO coach, meaning that you're looking at everything that's happening with your players, with the competitors' players, as well as what's happening weather-wise, atmosphere, etc. What does that mean? That means, is there a law forthcoming that can hurt your industry? For example, there are a lot of counties now that are making Airbnbs illegal. So you're looking at that as the coach and saying, well, if Airbnbs become illegal in my area, how am I going to proceed with this property, etc. It could be laws that can favor you. How, again, are you going to adjust? Could be the election that's forthcoming, presidential election, a bunch of senators and Congress people, etc., getting elected. So those things may affect your industry or your business. So the question that people are going to ask is, do I believe that this team can execute the business plan and win the Super Bowl? Meaning the staff that you put together, and it could just be you, but do I believe that you actually are going to do what you say you're going to do? And Tawana, how do people know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do?
Well, you're going to effectively communicate as you go along, and you're going to do it, right? You're
Yeah.
going to do it, show them and prove to them that you're capable, and then communicate along the way.
Absolutely. So if you say, something as simple as, I'll get my business plan to you tomorrow, then you don't get your business plan to them for 5 weeks, they're going to look at that. So actually, it's a true story that I had, was that I had a client who his business plan was done, but he didn't do one part. He was trying to get a specific type of money, and he needed to do this private placement memorandum. And he started pitching for funds before he had that done. And somebody said, okay, I'm interested. They were going to give him 7 figures. It took him 6 months to get that PPM.
Mm.
They weren't interested at that point.
Of course they
So,
weren't.
yeah. So, you can go to somebody in advance and say, hey, I'm working on this business idea. I want to get your opinion. What do you think about it? You don't have to have everything, all your ducks in a row or everything in line. Just don't promise them that you're going to send your business plan tomorrow if you don't have it like already in the can. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I'd say, think about that sentence Cheree just said and replace business plan with everything else. Because I do find that sometimes people, especially when we're needing the support of others, right? We overpromise. And it also causes more stress on us as entrepreneurs. Give yourself some grace, right? People really aren't expecting it tomorrow. So when you say, I'll get it tomorrow, and you know you really can't, they weren't expecting it anyway. So just give yourself some grace and say, I'll give it to you on Friday. And if you happen to have it done by tomorrow, then that's bonus. Then you come out looking like you are the best thing since sliced bread. But I find that we put so much pressure on ourselves as entrepreneurs to get things immediately without reading the room effectively, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's true. So a couple of more things you need in your business plan, your competition and your competitive advantages. You're basically telling like who's the competition and why are we better than the competition. Rule number one with this section is please don't say you have no competitors, because either a person won't believe you or they will think that the business has no chance of success if you have no competitors. So always add competitors into your business plan. Also, your competitive advantages are not just your product advantages, they're your business advantages as well. So if you have a restaurant and your restaurant is next door to the, I don't know, but they don't call it Redskins anymore. They call it the Commanders. The stadium, the football stadium in your, you know, in your local area.
That's an advantage.
That's a business competitive advantage. Exactly. If you have a mentor who can walk you into, you know, Fortune 500 companies and get you contracts, or they've been doing government contracting for years and they can help you get contracts as well. You can start off with as a sub for them or anything like that. You want to mix product advantages with business advantages. That's one big thing.
And your team can also be an advantage. I think going back to the last slide, a lot of people, I've had two examples of this with my current job. I had one of my co-founders go and pitch to a VC and say, you know, went through the whole entire presentation. And the gentleman responded with like, I have no idea of what the idea is. He's like, and I don't even need you to explain it to me because I'm not going to understand, but I love your team. He's like, because of the team, I'm all in. But he's like, yeah, don't tell me anything more about what you just said.
Yeah.
And so that becomes the advantage, which is like, okay, how do I even go? But it is the composition of the individuals that she has put together that has really been her competitive edge for this person.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It definitely happens all the time. So the final thing, your financials. Yeah, I know some of you are scared of financials, but really there's just a couple of little things that I try to suggest to people. So I will say that outside of your executive summary, the financials are the most important part of your business plan. However, for most of you, especially if you're going for the microloans that we're going to be talking about in the master class, your financials should be pretty simple to put together. Right. So I just think about four things when I'm developing financials for people: money in, money out, assumptions, and break even. Right. We're going to keep it pretty simple. Money in is your revenues. Like, what are your different revenue streams? How is money coming into your business? Money out is basically what are your expenses? How much is it going to cost for you to make that hamburger or that widget or provide that consulting, etc.? And then what are your financial assumptions? So let's see, let's say you have a daycare center. Some of your financial assumptions may be for every child that comes in, I need to give them a certain amount of food that has a cost to it. I provide a certain amount of supplies that has a cost to it. other things that I'm providing within that daycare center. I'm going to be doing some STEM-based activities, so I need to buy the supplies for that, etc. All of your financial assumptions pretty much have a financial amount to it. And then break even, people are always going to ask you that. How much is it going to take for you to keep the lights on? Okay, every month I got to bring in $2,500 to keep the lights on. Great. Just knowing that number, knowing that information. So yeah, you're going to be writing a business plan that banks will want to fund. That's going to be a big thing, an important thing, whether you want to get these microloans, or if you've been in business for many years and you're looking to expand and you want bigger loans, then you are able to do that as well. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it back over to Tawana and Talisha.
Wonderful. So do you guys have any additional questions for Cheree about the structure of a bankable business plan before we go into something we're excited to announce that Cheree is going to do for us here at 10K? Any questions about those structure, those components that make a successful business plan? All
And
right.
I know that somebody said that they wanted to be an artist. You don't have to be a starving artist. And I don't know if you're doing, it sounded like you were doing like graphic art design or
Yes, Ms.
versus
Patrice.
music. Artist photographer Patrice was saying that you don't have to be a starving artist. There are people who are alive who sell their artwork. There are people these days that are being patronized in all sorts of ways, but it really is, again, about you finding a target market who has the money and the means and the love of art and your art that is willing to support you. So yeah.
Very good. The Brother Delano said, would you follow the same procedure for nonprofits?
Yes, the structure is overall the same. The market opportunity becomes the group of people that you are, your mission is assisting. And then you want to have something in there that really talks about like what you're providing those individuals and how you're going to keep up with what you're providing them. So I'll give you a great example. I did a business plan a while ago for a group called Future Kings, and they work with Black and Brown boys in high school to help them. They teach them STEM. They teach them science, biology, things like that. And they work to get them scholarships to college. And what we did was we looked, this gentleman had been doing this for several years when he asked me to come and write the business plan for him. And we looked at the metrics of success for that organization. So one of the metrics was how many of the students actually they retained from year to year, because they'd start working with them in ninth grade. How many of those young men were still with that organization in the 12th grade? And they kept that. They kept track of that. They also kept track of how many young men actually got full ride scholarships or scholarships at all. It was all about breaking generational poverty, So that's the one thing that I will say with your nonprofits is being very clear on the metrics that you are keeping up with. So you said it's around affordable housing. Great. How many families are you housing? Is going to be the big one. Or do you have anything else you're doing for them? Are you helping them with any kind of financial literacy or anything like that that can help maybe get out of poverty if they're in poverty, if you're doing Section 8, for example, things like that. You kind of want to have just some metrics that you're thinking of as well, if it's a nonprofit.
Very, very good.
Mhm.
So we have a masterclass that Cheree has agreed to do.
Mhm.
And the details are the class is going to start on August 16th. That's a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a 4-week masterclass. So 8/16, 8/23, 8/20, or excuse me, 8/30. And then we're going to skip a week because that's the holiday week, right? And we know how busy you guys are going to be hanging with family and just chilling out. So we don't want to have something, we don't want to have that last session during that week. And so the 4th week is going to be 9/13. So that's 8/16, 8/23, 8/30, and 9/13. So a 4-week masterclass. We've got a really good breakdown of the outline of the class. You're going to see all of this information in your next newsletter. You're also going to see in the events section of our Facebook, you're going to see all of the details there, and we'll be sending you some reminders. For 10K project members, the price of the masterclass is $325. For anyone that has taken the grant masterclasses, any of them, and actually any of our masterclasses, for anyone who is a previous masterclass participant, we have a special $50 off code for you guys. You guys should have received an email about that. If you didn't get an email with that special code, reach out to me and we'll get you that special code if you are a past masterclass participant. If you are not yet a 10K project member and you're watching us live on Facebook or any of the other social platforms that we'll stream this on later, and you're not yet a member, you do need to be a member to join this masterclass, but we also have a discount code for you because membership is $300 annually. So we've created a membership code for you, $100 off. You'll get all of this information in our newsletter, on our social platforms. All of that will be shared, but we would love for you to come and join us to really learn how to write this masterclass or create the business plan via this masterclass. And the one thing Cheree didn't talk a lot about that I want her to circle back to is how she's using ChatGPT, for anyone who came a little late, how she's using that to really create and do something different with the business plans to make it easier for us to be our own authors of it, right? And so I love that. What I'm most excited about, because you guys know I join all the masterclasses, right? We don't just have the masterclasses for y'all. Y'all know I am and will always be the #1 10K project student. And so I'm excited to be able to write this myself, because having had several businesses, I've been a part of a business plan sessions. Talisha and I went through one for one of the businesses we have, and it was painful. It was pain, and it was weeks and weeks and weeks, and each session was like 4 hours with dude, and I mean it was rough. And so thinking about Cheree's getting ready to teach me how to write my own, I'm like, okay, let's see. Y'all know I'm skeptical on something. But because I know Cheree is amazing at what she does, and because I know what ChatGPT can do, I am so psyched about being able to do this myself. And so, I think that's the edge here, right? Being able to have a master business plan writer is one thing, but then being able to complement it with this technology that has just this abundance of information that can help us. And I think, I just imagine ChatGPT telling me who my competition is, or helping me figure out who my competition is if I don't know. Because we've seen that on the pitches. We've seen, a couple of where there's only like 1 or 2 on their slide, but someone in our, one of you guys, one of the members will say, but what about such and such? That does kind of that business does what you do. And, the rest of us are like, ruh-roh, like they didn't list that. And sometimes you just don't know that these other companies are out there doing what you do, right? And so I would imagine it's going to help us really fine tune these business plans to make them more accurate and more meaningful to the people that are looking at them to be able to want to give us the funding that we need.
Yeah, so let me say that right now with ChatGPT, it's only has through 2021 with regards to information. So it's not the best at figuring out what who your competitors are. You
Okay.
say, you know, so we'll talk about ways for you to do research with regards to your competitors. We'll talk about ways that I've done research in the past with regards to a lot of different things. The interesting thing with ChatGPT is when I first started, I started with a blank sheet of paper. Or there were people who would start with the template and get frustrated because the template wasn't exactly what they were trying to do. They don't have a fill in the blank business. Can't tell you how many phone calls I got from people that don't have a fill in the blank business, right? What I like about ChatGPT is you can have a whole bunch of random ideas in your head. So the pain of Tawana and Talisha and whomever coming together to figure out the business, figure out the market opportunity, figure out what products and services we're selling. How do we want to get this out in the marketplace? That actually you still have to do. The difference is ChatGPT, instead of you just going into a Word document and sitting there saying, well, how am I going to write this? No, now ChatGPT can do the heavy lifting for you, where you'll have your prompts and we'll put the prompts in there. And then you'll have, this is what I want you to write. And ChatGPT is able to put that information into prose for you, or help you with certain they call it tabular, but it's like tables and things like that, that ChatGPT is able to do. We're still at level 1 of ChatGPT, so it's not going to create some graphical, masterpiece for you, but at least you're not going to be sitting looking at the blank sheet of paper and the cursor flickering, saying, now what do I write, right? So that's where I'm going to get you over the hump with regards to that. Kim said exactly, I have heard this over and over and over again, Kim. So thank you for writing it out. She says here, I chair a CDFI that targets Black women in business, and unfortunately, many are not eligible for our loans due to not having business plans. We have given out only 2/3 of what we typically do because we need this service. I cannot tell you how many people come to me and ask me to teach business plan writing. Will you do business plans for people? And typically, like who's going for a $10,000 loan, my business plans cost too much for them. So now this is a way for me to be able to help people who are going for $10,000. They don't need a lot of money. But they don't know quite what to put in their business plans. So, thanks, Kim, though, for saying that in the chat, because it happens all the time. The government could give more money. These CDFIs could give more money, but we have to have our paperwork together.
Yep, right. Well, very good. So Cheree, thank you so very much for coming to the community. We're going to email you out. First of all, you'll get this replay, right? It'll have all the information, have the details of how to sign up for the masterclass. The deadline to sign up is the 11th, right? Because it would not be right if Miss Cheree didn't want to give you some pre-homework. And so
you will have pre-homework. Yes, you will.
You will have some pre-homework. So the thought is that if you sign up by the 11th, we'll be able to get you all of the information that you need in order to do the pre-homework ready for the session, the first session on the 16th of August. So you will get all of that information. Again, we'll have for those of you who have been in a masterclass already, you have received an email from me the other day, so check your email. I actually gave you a preview of this information because you have been such wonderful members and participated in some of our previous education sessions. So you already have the email with the code. If I left you off, or if you don't see it, or if it's in your spam somewhere and you can't find it, reach out and we'll give you that again. And to anyone who is, this is the thing you've been waiting for, right? You've kind of been on the sidelines at 10K and you've been listening to what we do, but there's not been anything that's been specifically that you needed, but this is it. We welcome you. Please go to the10kproject.com, join to become a member. Once you become a member, you'll be able to go into our knowledge center and purchase this masterclass, and we'll have all the instructions and all of that available for you as well. But it was super, super excited. Cheree, again, thank you so much for bringing this to the community. We know that there are a ton of businesses that need this and to be able to get the assistance they need. And to the point you made a moment ago, hiring a professional business plan writer can be costly. Your fees are not low, right? And that is right. And that is a testament to how good you are. And so for people who cannot afford high rates, this is a very good opportunity for us to write our own, right? And then get the funding we need so that we now can afford, when we get to that scalable version that we need, maybe that's when you come to a Cheree and pay, the higher fees for
Well, not me. I will refer you
That's
out.
right, because
to
you don't do it
somebody.
anymore. That's right.
I don't do it anymore, but I
Don't do
will
it
say
anymore.
this. I know that there are people who say, oh, just go to Fiverr. Somebody on Fiverr will write it for $300.
We've heard that before.
If you know exactly what you want in that business plan that might work for you. Also, I cannot tell you how many people came to me after hiring somebody in a foreign country, and no offense to anybody who doesn't, whose first language is not English, right? But they say, well, they messed up my business plan. I can't give this to, the bank. I cannot give this to Kim at the CDFI like this. I need your help. Oftentimes, business owners also just don't know, like they want to talk with somebody about their business idea. Well, do you think I should do social media advertising? Or do you think this? Or do you think that? So having this masterclass is also a great way for you to kind of bounce ideas off of me and Tawana and the other people who are going to be in the class. So that way, when you're writing, it's a lot more focused. The final thing I will say, the young lady who got the $60,000 at the Latino Economic Development Center. Again, she was a Black African woman that went to the Latinos and got this money. So they have to accept you because these are like not government programs. That one was a CDFI, but they were, no. Yeah, that was a CDFI, but they can't, we call it, turn you away, right? They grilled her. They asked her a lot of questions about her business plan. So also, if you're going to someone on Fiverr and you don't know what's in your business plan, like if you can't answer what your cost of goods are or how you got this number or what you're going to do here or there, then the person who would be funding you, they're going to see straight through that. So, just things to think about.
Good point. Very, very good point. Any final questions for Cheree?
Talicia's ready to go.
Oh no, I'm getting messages, so
Oh,
I can see the messages.
I meant when you're ready to go.
About different stuff. Always.
Very good. All right. For those of you who missed seeing Cheree, you can see her again on the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, and the 13th of September.
But you got to be there.
But you got to be there. That's right. You got to sign up by the 11th, and you got to be in the room with her. But so Cheree, thank you so very much. If there's anything, you want to, any additional information you want to share with us before the deadline or before the class starts, let me know. We'll get it out to the community, but we will get them all of the information they need so that they can successfully enroll and be ready for 8/16.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, ladies.
Oh, everybody's just saying thank you to you, Cheree.
Thank you very much, Cheree.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
You too, guys. We'll see the rest of you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we have, I know y'all get so tired of me saying we got an amazing founder coming. I know y'all do, but have I ever lied?
No, you have never lied.
Well, twice. Twice it was a little off. It was a little shaky there. But we just roll past those. We roll right on back.
Oh, you know what I
No,
want to share?
Talisha was supposed to say, you ain't never lied.
No, and she didn't lie. She just was
I didn't lie.
misinformed.
I didn't
Yeah, she
lie, I
just
didn't
was
lie.
misinformed, and it went a little south.
But guess what? Guess what? We are
What?
almost at 100 founders, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Almost at what? The only reason we're not at 100 yet is because we've had founders come back multiple times. Right. So we've had like a couple come back 3 times already or 2 times. That's the only reason. But we're like at like 95, 96, like
96,
so it's so exciting. Talisha and I are trying to figure out how we celebrate.
You have to celebrate the 100th founder.
100, yes, 100
Yes.
unique founders. As I said, we've done this over. I
Unique,
trust
right.
we've done this.
100
Yeah,
unique
100
founders.
unique founders, because we have literally been doing this for 3 years. Like, if people really understand, like, we've celebrated the anniversary, it just keeps coming and coming and coming. But that shows you that the consistency. Every Tuesday we have been here in this manner, and now we've almost gotten to the coveted number of 100.
This is just so amazing. I mean, that we've been part of the journey of 100 Black founders. We've been the reason they may have lasted the remainder of the year or another year, right? Or they got the factory they needed, or they got the menu, you know, just all the things that they need money for. When we ask that question, how are you going to use the funds, right? Like, we are part of that journey now, how they made that thing happen. And so while 10K is proud to be in existence and proud to be a part of the journey, each and every one of you should be proud as well, because without you, we would just be here 3 people, right? When we first started, right? It was 3. Well, actually, when we first started, we had Dr. Keisha and Eric. So we had 5 on this screen, right?
Yeah.
It would have been the 5 of us invested in 100 founders. That wouldn't have been enough to do anything, right? So without you, they wouldn't keep coming back. They wouldn't be talking about us in rooms where people are talking about VCs and capital. You know, they're talking about the 10K project, and they're talking about this community, especially that we've built here, and how you guys are special. And the other thing they're doing is they're trying to duplicate this,
Of
right?
course.
I've seen that a couple of times, right? They're trying to duplicate what we've built here. But there is no duplicating perfection. This community is amazing. And every day I do this because of all of you, because you are literally the heartbeat of this company. It is not me. It is not Talisha. It is not even Cheree and what she brought to the company.
Nope.
It is you, the community of investors and entrepreneurs, that keep us alive and keep us doing this. And so you should be very proud of yourselves the way I'm proud of you. And so as we think about what that 100 founder anniversary looks like, it's going to be epic. We try to think of it. It's like trying to really think about how do we be responsible, right? Because we are responsible business owners. How do we responsibly celebrate such a big accomplishment?
Responsible turn up. That's what we
Right,
need.
right. A responsible turn up, right? But we're super excited. We're super excited. And thank you to all of the founders who are part of the community, and they didn't just raise capital and leave, but they stayed here and they hang out with us, and they engage with us in the Facebook group and all of those things that, again, make this community so amazing. So super, super excited. Tomorrow night, Tuesday. So guess where we're going to be? Right here at 8 p.m. with another amazing founder. And this one is one many of you have seen before. This wasn't a pitch session we did. This was a special session we did, so everyone didn't come out. So now we're opening it up so everybody can see this amazing project. It is a wellness center in another country. And so it gives us the opportunity to be international investors. And so we're super excited to introduce this one to you tomorrow. So I will see, hopefully, all of you here at 8 p.m. tomorrow. We will stream live. Also, for those of you who are in Facebook, we hope to see you as well. But super, super excited. And again, Cheree, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. It was nice to have your little square be here tonight.
Yes.
It's very sentimental. So thank you so much for coming, and congratulations just on all of the success you've also experienced in the new opportunity that you took advantage of at the beginning of the year. So,
Thank you.
but thank you for coming back home too.
Yes, yes. I'm looking forward to the masterclass.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, everyone.
Have a
Okay.
good night,
Talk to you
everyone.
later. Have a good night. We'll get all the information out to you that you need to sign up, and we absolutely love you. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.